Alright, we're looking at Chapter 7, Section 3, the spread of Greek culture. In this section, we want to make sure we understand how King Philip of Macedonia took over not only in Macedonia, but then all of Greece, and how his son, Alexander the Great, built that into a giant empire. And also what the conquests of Alexander the Great, that their part in spreading Greek culture throughout the Middle East and further east all the way over to India. Vocabulary term here at the beginning of Section 3 is barbarian, a person who belongs to a group that others consider wild or uncivilized. And we'll find out here that the Greeks believed that the Macedonians living to their north were barbarians. Well, King Philip had grown up and learned a lot from spending a lot of time in Greek city-states. He had Greek ancestors, he thought of himself as Greek, he lived in Greece for a time when he was younger, he had Greek teachers, and he made sure to stay connected to his friends and family in Greece. And because of that, he made sure that when he had a son, Alexander, that he wanted Alexander to have the best possible education, and so he turned to the best teacher, the best philosopher in Greece at the time, and that was Aristotle. And we've learned a little bit about Aristotle before, and that he was a student of Plato, and Plato was a student of Socrates. So it was as close as King Philip could get to having Socrates teach his own son. Well, when Philip came to power, he just wanted to be considered Greek, but the Greek city-states all looked down at the Macedonians. They thought that the Macedonians were wild and crazy, couldn't be trusted, and so King Philip decides, well, if you're not going to accept us as we are, then we're going to conquer you. And so he started working to the south to try to make alliances along the way. In some cases, he paid off different city-states. In other cases, he just attacked them directly. In other cases, he worked diplomatic channels trying to create treaties with those city-states. And in just a few years, he went from just ruling this little area along the north edge of Greece to controlling almost all of the Greek peninsula and most of the islands in the Aegean Sea. Well, Demosthenes, he's a speaker, would be one of the senators in Athens, had spent a lot of time trying to convince his contemporaries, his peers, that they needed to be worried about this guy coming from the north, and apparently the people of Athens just kind of said, he's just a crazy guy from the barbarians up north, and he doesn't really matter. He's not going to be able to do anything. Well, in 338, we end up with Philip leading the Macedonians directly against Athens and their ally Thebes to try to stop Philip. It was too late. They were unsuccessful. Philip took over all of Greece. So in a matter of about 20 years, Philip goes from just controlling his tiny little country of Macedonia up north to reaching all the way down and taking over all of the Aegean.